And you can see in the history of Islam and Christianity how terribly afraid they were of that, and how they took great pains to deny that Jesus had a wife, like that manuscript that's just been discovered says, or to deny that these goddesses were part of Islam. So anyway, that's just my theory, but I think you'll find a lot of agreement with that.
All right. So, in a nutshell, if they're going to say that, if they believe wholeheartedly that paganism and Satanism is one and the same, so they're in denial, because if they admitted their similarities, they would have to admit that according to their belief, they're actually worshiping Satan themselves.
Well, yes, I agree with that. I think that is who they are.
Right?
The thing is their own Satan. Yeah, I honestly have come to believe that, and I'm not original in that. That's what the Gnostics believe, and I think they created this idol, and now they worship it. I mean, not all of them, but the people that are out there, suicide bombing and out there burning crosses on black people's lawns, those people are actually, I think they're worshiping their own Satan, honestly.
Okay. I just got another question. You really have to give me some understanding on this. Is there any pagan similarities in the old rituals of the KKK?
I don't know. I mean, they. My impression of the KKK is that they just grabbed.
I'm not talking about the. Listen, I'm not talking about the hate part of that. I'm talking about their rituals.
They seem
the burning of the cross.
Yeah, I don't know where they got that from. Why would you burn your own sacred symbol?
Well, they actually got that from Druid belief from ancient Europe.
Druid?
Yeah, exactly. It was a Druid. It's a Druid worship from the Celts.
Oh, a burning cross.
All right.
Well, I know that at the solstice they might have done something like that as a sun symbol.
Yeah, the sun symbol. Yeah.
In ancient Germanic cultures, they used to, they would light a wheel on fire and roll it down a hill as a symbol of the sun. But that's not quite the same. So I didn't know that.
I got a few of them. I got a next one, Steve. I hope I'm not bombarding you here. I got another one. Just here.
I don't mind at all.
What are pagans' idea or understanding of, or what are your feelings of European colonization, of how the North American Indians were destroyed, and then it opened the door for pagans and others to worship a religion on stolen land? That's a good question there.
Well, given that the Native Americans were pagan themselves, and many of them were forced to give up their beliefs in mission schools, I think it's this mentality again that, it's two things. One of them is that mentality that I call monopoly monotheism, but, where there's only one way and it's my way. But I think the other thing, too, is that there's another mentality, too, that where people are kind of caught. These two mentalities are kind of at war in the world, I think. And the other one is, I call it money-worshipping materialism, where where all that matters is getting rich, and everything around you only see it as a means to an end. You just see that, you don't see that mountain as sacred, you see it as just something that's got gold in it, and you're going to dig it up and go get rich off of it. And it's you see that's kind of prevalent in America today. That it's the Wall Street mentality, and that was prevalent among the colonists too. They didn't care who or what was in their way. They just wanted to grab those resources and go back and build their mansions on that stolen wealth. And it comes from a kind of materialism where you see the world around you as just nothing but dead stuff that you can use to your own end. And you see people that way too. You see them as human resources to be exploited, And I think that All religions are at war against that, even though some of them contribute to it.
Okay, so in a nutshell, you don't agree with the European conquest through greed. So
no, not at all. No, I think it was
all right. Well,
for the
let's
ages.
go on, because that question had nothing to do with paganism. Let me ask you this. Some of the movies, some of the spells that are being actually spoken, like on Harry Potter or these other movies, are those actual spells? Are those actual things that are written in ancient pagan books?
Some of them are, yeah. Like there's a character in Harry Potter called Rubius.
Okay.
That's from a geomantic figure, a divination figure called Rubius, which means the red-headed one. It's very similar to Ifa, by the way, that divination system. It's called geomancy. But the spells that they say, like, tormentum invisibilium or that sort of thing, they're not real spells. They're kind of modeled on spells, because a lot of old spells are Latin. But no, they're not. None of them are actual spells.
Hey, John, Steve, sorry, excuse me. Let me ask something on the Harry Potter. Would you say the author of Harry Potter, would she be a witch?
I wish. No, I think she just read a lot of books and cribbed a lot of things. No, I think if she were a witch, she'd be sharing a little more of those royalties with other witches. Okay, so
you don't think she's from any Wiccan order? Because when I, like you said, when I was looking into the Harry Potter movie, I found a lot of the, like, for example, the second movie, when they had the basilisk snake in it. I know that's a snake that's reverent in witchcraft. Is it not?
There's a lot of, it depends. Yeah, I mean, the serpent is a really symbolic creature in so many religions. Yeah, it has a lot of meaning. So you can pretty much pull from any source for that. Yeah. But no, I think if she is a witch, then she's been absolutely secret about it. Not even other witches that we know have had any contact with her in that way. And I honestly think that, she, just like the Hollywood writers, you can get all of this stuff just by reading enough books and putting it together and getting, she's very good at taking things that are real and kind of cobbling them together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Another quick announcement.
Let me ask him this real quick before you, and I'm gonna let you back in if you don't mind. Gotcha. Let me ask: homosexuality, lesbians and gay men doing things with each other. What is your take on that as a Wiccan? Is that allowed in Wiccan?
Well, let me put it this way: every year at our big Samhain, October 31st ritual that we do, the big public one, we have a different theme, and this year the theme is Love is the Law, and we're going to be holding a mass wedding and hand fasting for anyone of any sex and any couple or triple that wants to do it. And even though it will only be legal for the people that are heterosexual, we still are, want to say, look, nature is much more diverse than just male coupling with female. And that's the real natural law is love, and that's the most important thing of all. So we're going to do that publicly in front of the courthouse as a kind of a ritual.
So you do welcome homosexual men and lesbians within this unit?
Most American witches do, but I got to be honest with you that traditional British witches, way back in the old days, maybe 100 years ago, did not. They were very much against it, and gay people were not allowed to be in a coven in those days. They had to be. They were considered very magical, but they were like they would be like messengers who would go between covens, come to visit one or the other. But that's nowadays most witches consider that prejudiced and bigoted, and so we're we think that what's in the heart is more important than what hangs between your legs.
Okay, well, the issue we have with that is that I don't know any homosexual or lesbian that came in the earth through a homosexual or lesbian reprocreation. Like they are a product.
Partnership
they are
is about
of love. They are a product of love as far as male and female. So I don't understand how that whole thing is. But maybe we'll have someone on next week to talk about that. But let me ask you. Let me just ask you all out, because it's not being bigot. It's about being straight.
Well, it's about focusing just on procreation. I mean, marriage and partnership is about a lot more than that. In fact, we think more people ought to adopt children and having them.
But that's an intricate part of it, because if everyone decided to do that, that would be the end of life itself.
Well, we got a long ways to go with that. We got like 7 billion people or more and counting on this planet, and there's way too, honestly, they're procreating a little.
Listen, I won't deal with that with none of my children. But let's go here. Let's go here real quick, and let's be straight.
Hello, fella. Can I just make an announcement real quick? We're down to we're under 1 hour for normal time. We're gonna go into the overtime in approximately 55 minutes. For the listeners there who listening via the internet, it'll be a good time to try and call in. And for the listeners on Skype throughout the UK, Jamaica, and parts of the Middle East, into Africa, that'll be a good time to try and start calling in via the Skype route also. That's it. You're locked into the Search Engine International. I'm your host, Brother Gocc. We have Elder Ricard on the phone, and we have Steve Rasmussen.
There you go.
I got it. All right. All right, then. Let me hand it back over to you guys, okay?
Yeah, I wanted to say this also, that for those who listen, I mean, this has been one of the most interesting conversations we've had on air. I mean, besides the rabbi that came on one time, and I mean, that was just profound in itself. But it's interesting that we have a pagan on that's saying, that came with absolute truth concerning his religion. And one thing that was brought out today, and I'm glad he brought it out, is that the majority of Christianity we have today is really hidden paganism. We've been mentioning this for a long time. They want to tell people, go to hell, our way is our way, and this, that, and the other. When really, the Sunday worship, Christmas, Easter, even the virgin birth. Is there a virgin birth in paganism, sir?
In ancient paganism, there were several deities that were, I'm trying to remember the exact source of that, but that's in either Greek or Roman paganism. I forget.
Yeah, Horus and Osiris.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah,
Horus, Osiris in ancient Egypt. You had Tammuz, the virgin child of Babylon.
That's right. Yeah.
And that was
that's
all
absolutely
before
right.
Christ.
Yeah, that's taken from older myths, older pagan myths.
If you don't mind, let me read one thing out of the Bible that I don't think Christians even knew that was in the Bible. In Jeremiah 44, when the Hebrews began to worship the Gentile deities, the pagan deities, it was written, the prophet Jeremiah wrote this to them. It says, Jeremiah 44, and I'm going to put this out there for everyone. It says, as for the word that thou hast spoken unto the name of the Lord, we will not hearken unto thee. That's what the people began to do. It says, then all the men who knew that their wives had burned incense to other gods, and all the women that stood by, a great multitude, even all the people that dwelt in the land of Egypt and Pathros, answered Jeremiah, saying, as for the word that thou hast spoken unto us in the name of the Lord, we will not hearken unto thee. But we will certainly do whatsoever thing goeth forth out of our own mouth to burn incense unto the Queen of Heaven.
Ah, the Queen of Heaven.
Yeah, you know her, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Queen of Heaven.
Yeah.
And to pour out drink offerings unto her, as we have. But we will certainly do so whatsoever goeth forth out of our own mouth. Listen to this clearly.